So we're actually going to start in, I think it is Baddha Konasana. So seated, so not supine, but seated, Baddha Konasana. And you will bring the soles of your feet together. So I've got some music. Set your blocks off to the side. You won't need them for a while. Also, if you're not using yoga blocks, but something creative, you might also want like a pillow or something like that for a prop. Okay. So Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees wide. We're going to start right on into hips tonight. You can grab onto your ankles if that helps you keep a nice, erect, and upright position. Shoulders down. You could also place hands just behind you, palms down, supporting your spine. If you'd like to, you can place your props underneath your knees or let your knees just slowly work their way open. Wherever you find yourself, make sure that you're setting yourself up and meeting your body where it is. And then begin to close your eyes. Let your awareness drift away from the world as your eyes present them in front of you. And instead, let it start to become a little bit more of an internal awareness. Noticing any little aches or pains, or maybe some delightful openness in your body tonight. And then pulling your awareness to your breath. Noticing if it's quick and short, potentially shortened from the day as it unfolded. And start to slow down your breathing and make it more conscious in through your nose. Across the back of your throat, dropping down and filling up your lungs from the bottom tip, slowly up like a reservoir. And then as you exhale, retracing that path, pulling the diaphragm to find compression in the chest and letting the air pull out, press out. Inhale. Ujjayi pranayama. So you're making it a textured, conscious breath. And exhale. Inhale, also the root of inspiration. Inspire, inhale. And exhale, the root for expiration, to expire. So even this small cycle of breathing in and breathing out can represent the cycle of a life. So many small circles, cycles in our life, a day, an hour, a breath. Another inhale. And if your hands are behind you, you'll walk them forward and start to fold forward any amount. Noticing how this will start to deepen the sensation around your hips and potentially cause a little bit of openness or expansion in your low back. Use your hands to support you. Maybe curl your fingertips a little bit more forward. See if you can lift your chin off your chest and pull and lengthen your spine. Keep your finger pads gripped down into the mat. And then on your inhalation, slowly come back up. Now, if you're facing the side of your mat, face back to the front of your mat. You're going to take your right leg and bring it behind you. So your left leg stays forward. Heel toe that left foot across. So the outside of your foot is resting across the front of your mat. Bring your hands forward and place them in front of your shin. Tuck your right toes and start to walk your right leg back long behind you, setting up for pigeon pose right off the bat. But we're going to keep this gentle. We're going to pull in the props. So first prop, pillow or block or encyclopedia, it's going to go underneath the left hip. So to give you a visual of that, on the opposite side, you're pulling it underneath the left hip. Just propping it up. Now, second prop, you have a couple options. You can use it to either place your head down on as you fold forward. You can use it behind your left heel, making sure that you keep your left foot flexed. Right leg extended directly back behind you. And then walk your hands forward, maybe coming down to forearms, not pushing yourself to completely flatten out into a sleeping pigeon, but instead letting it be a little bit pulled back, restrained, so that you're not opening up your hips too much without warming them up. Breathe into your diaphragm, solar plexus, and let that expansion come down into your low back. Exhale. Think about extending your spine long. Inhale. Exhale. One more slow and controlled breath here. And then slowly bring your hands back in under your shoulders. Slide the props out of the way. Let your left hip drop down and bring your right leg back forward. Bring that shin across the front of your mat and ease your left foot back behind you. Both hands come in front of your right shin, prop up onto the shin, and then tuck your toes, lengthen the left foot back. Keep your right foot flexed. Outside of your foot pressing down into the mat. Make sure your left leg is extended directly back behind you. And then pull the first prop underneath your right glute, right hip. Take the second block to wherever you did on the first side, either behind the right heel or as a headrest. Then start to walk yourself forward onto your forearms. Let your chin drop down to your chest. Flex your right foot as you press the outside of your right leg into the mat. Inhale into solar plexus, down into low back, find an expansion there. And exhale. Take a deep breath in, finding a sense of calm as you make exhale your practice, your ritual, coming back to your mat on these Wednesday nights, your practice. Again, one more inhale. And exhale. Slowly come back, hands under your shoulders. Move the props out to the side on either side of your mat. And then drop down to the right side and bring your left leg around, moving with intention and syncing up with your breath. Draw your knees up, feet down, inhale. And then exhale, just roll onto your back. We'll do that a couple times. So you feel the sensation of your spine, each vertebra as it touches the mat. Lengthening in your low back. And then this next time, you'll stay on your back. Feet up towards the ceiling. Reach up, find your feet. Walk your hands to the outside edge. Let your knees come around to the outside of your ribs. Reach up with your hands and find your feet. See if you can flatten your low back all the way down. Even reach your shoulders down and pull with your hands the feet down. Now press your feet up. Inhale. Exhale, purposely ground your body down to the mat. Again, inhale. And exhale. One more time, take a breath in. Exhale out. Let your heels drop down and pull your knees into your chest. Lift your feet up, move your hands behind your knees. And again, find a rolling forward and back on your mat. Be a little bit playful. Let it start to stretch any areas of tightness. Next time you come forward, find your hands behind you and bring yourself up onto your tiptoes. Lift your heels up high. Maybe start to lift your hands up, finding some balance. Start to move your gaze off the floor and directly up in front of you. See if you can pull your heels up a little bit higher. Draw your navel in to support you. Draw your shoulder heads back so you have a nice long spine. And then slowly round, bring hands down. Keep your left foot grounded and step your right foot back into a nice long lunge. Draw your left knee over your left ankle. Tense your fingertips, gaze can be forward, and you can always pull the blocks in to place underneath your hands if that feels good. Slowly bring your left arm forward, reach it long. So you're extending from left fingertips to right ankle. And then exhale, bring your left hand down to the inside of your left foot. Right hand down to the inside as well. And heel toe your left leg a little bit farther out to the left side. So that way there's enough room in your lunge, in your runner's lunge, for your hips to be square. The outside of your left tricep will still find your left knee. From there, you're going to lift your toes up, spin your toes over to the left side. on the heel, and then drop to the outside of your right foot. Walk your right hand forward. Reach your left arm forward up to the ceiling, and then all the way back to your right foot. So this is lounge lunge. Inhale up. And exhale back. Left hand to right foot. Keeping that right foot flexed. Inhale up. And exhale back. Hold. Letting your right shoulder shrug up towards your right ear. Slowly bring it all the way back around. Come into your runner's lunge. So toes are both pointing forward. So you're on your back toes and left toes are pointing forward. And then flex your left foot. Start to let that left knee drop out to the side. Nuclear pigeon pose. It's a goodie. So foot is flexed and you'll let that leg drop out. So no longer worried about your left tricep and this knee connecting. Maybe start to bend your elbow, lowering your chest down towards the mat. Keeping your right leg super straight. Keeping the left toes flexed. And then slowly press up. Plant your left foot back forward. Both hands frame the left foot. And then draw your right foot in. Both feet at the front of the mat. Lower your hips down and lift your heels up. Start with gaze down at the floor. And slowly lift your gaze up. Fingertips hover. Maybe reach your arms forward. Or slowly up overhead. Palms facing towards each other. Take a deep breath in and out. Your arms are lifted, bring them back down. Both fingertips touch the mat. Rock forward and step your left leg back. Nice long lunge. Again, you can place your hands under your blocks or tent your fingertips. Straighten your left leg. Lift your left heel high. And then extend your right arm up. Reach long through your right fingertips and feel the energy extending also out of the bottom of the left foot. Then place the right hand down to the inside of your right foot. Heel toe that right foot out to the side so that you can place both hands down, shoulder width distance apart, and feel the knee grazing your right shoulder. Runner's lunge, rock a little bit forward and back with breath. Then lift your right toes up, pivot on your right heel, toes out to the side, and then drop to the outside of your back foot. Reach your left arm forward, drop your hips down, reach your right arm up, and then arc it over, extending your right hand back to your left foot. Inhale up and exhale down. Keeping that back foot flexed. Inhale up. Exhale down. Our time, inhale up. Coming all the way, hand down. Pivot your toes back facing forward in your runner's lunge. And then flex your right toes. Keep your left leg straight and start to let the right knee drop out to the side. Pigeon pose, or nuclear pigeon pose rather. Got a lot of pigeons already. That might be where we're going later. A different kind of pigeon. We've had sleeping pigeon, nuclear pigeon. It's a class of pigeons. All right. Maybe start to bend your elbows, releasing your chest a little bit closer to the mat. Foot flexed. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale, press your hands to straight. Bring your right foot back down and right hand to the outside of your right foot. So back in that lunge, and then draw the left foot forward. Sit down. Hips down, heels lift. Start to straighten your spine. Your knees will come down and forward. Toe pose. You're reaching the arms up. Palms towards each other. Spine straight. Gaze forward. Inhale. Exhale, hold. Pull your shoulder blades down your back. And inhale. Exhale, start to lower your arms down to horizontal. Begin to round your spine. Reach forward, let your heels start to drop, and you'll come down onto your butt. Heels down. Bring your hands behind your knees and lift your feet up for Galavasana, boat pose. Toes flex back, pull your chest up, lengthen your low back. One circle or cycle of poses complete. From here, extend your arms. Inhale. Exhale, lower down, hovering your feet and hovering your shoulders off the mat, Ardha Navasana. Inhale, use your core, pull yourself up. Pull your palms down the side of your shins. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up. One more time, exhale down. Hold for a breath. And then release your body down to the mat. Pull your feet in, right behind your hips. Planting your heels down, walking them in as close as they'll get. Fingertips grazing the back. And then press through your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up. Coming into bridge pose. You can interlace your hands behind you or grab the back of your ankles or the side of your mat. Walking your shoulder blades together underneath your chest, allowing your chest to rise up and then chin to rise off your chest. Take an inhale and exhale. Pull your knees a little bit closer towards each other so that your legs remain running in parallel lines, in parallel planes. Inhale. Lift your hips up higher, press down through your feet, release your arms, and then exhale, slowly lower your spine down. Extend your legs long. Reach your arms long beside you. Slowly lift head, neck, and chest up. Move your gaze to your feet, lift your feet up, moving back into Ardha Navasana, and then pull up. Bring your hands behind your knees. Re-lengthen your spine. Give yourself a little wiggle. We're going to do something that's a little bit funky in Navasana. I'll do this facing you so you kind of get a better visual streamline. You're going to put your feet into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose in your Navasana. Then use your hands behind your knees so your knees are wider than your ribs. Feet about level with your knees if you can. You can always do a little bit higher. And then option A is to keep your hands behind your knees. And then pull your chest through. Come back slightly. Inhale. Exhale, press up. Trying to keep at least the insides of your feet touching. Maybe the whole sole of your feet won't touch. All right, second option, inhale, you come back, arms out. Press your palms forward. Exhale, press your hands. See if you can get them in the same plane as your big toes. Inhale. Whew. Exhale, press. Inhale, extend your legs, let your torso come back slightly. Exhale, press. One more time, inhale. Exhale, press. Okay, you can bring your hands behind your knees, and then feet back down. You're gonna come back up into your toe pose. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, raise your arms up, gaze forward. Exhale, hold, lower your knees down so the top of your thighs are parallel with the floor. Inhale. Exhale, start to open your knees wide, heels lifted. So now you should feel the inside of your heels touching and the inside of the balls of your feet touching. If you are forward on your mat, your hands might come down off of your mat. And if you don't want that, you can always hop back a little bit so you have more mat space to work with. So knees are wide. And heels and maybe the inside of the balls of the feet are touching. Ooh, good balance. Yeah. Slowly bring your hands down to the mat. So you still got your heels lifted and rock forward. Lift your knees up. So you still have the soles or the heels matched, and place the inside of your knees as high up on your triceps as you can. You want your hands to be shoulder width or a little bit wider apart. And then you're going to rock the weight forward. So you feel more of the weight moving into the fingertips. Move your gaze past your fingers. Maybe lift one or both feet up into crow pose, Bakasana. Press the inside of your feet towards each other. Lift your heels towards your glutes. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, lower down. Lift your heels. Bring your hands back between your legs. Lengthen your spine. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pull your knees forward, right back to where we started. Inhale, exhale, this time lower your knees down to the mat. So the back of your feet, the bottom of your feet, are getting a nice opening. We won't stay here too long because this can sometimes get a little excruciating. And then bring your hands down to rest on your thighs. Close your eyes. Come back to your breath. Take an inhale. Pull in across the palate, the roof of your mouth, down your throat. Fill up your lungs like a reservoir. Exhale, let the reservoir drain from the top down to the bottom and out the throat, tracing back out through the nostrils. Then inhale through the nose. Fill up your lungs. And exhale out through your nose, letting your reservoirs empty. Last time here, inhale. And exhale, let your hands slide forward. Place them on the ground. Lift your knees up, come into a very short downward facing dog. And slowly walk your feet to the front of your mat, Uttanasana. Feet hip width distance apart, so give them a little bit of space, at least 2 fists, if not a little bit wider. And then hang the crown of your head down. Inhale, press into fingertips, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Again, inhale, lift up halfway. Press into your heels, straighten your spine. Lift your tummy off of your thighs. And exhale, fold, bending your knees as much as feels good. Then plant your hands down onto the mat, using enough bend in your knees as you need to. You can also place the blocks in, stack them, and plant your hands on that. Little core practice here. Pressing your hands into the mat or into the blocks, you're going to press down through the right foot and see if you can lift the left foot up. So it's just enough to hover, and then tap your toes to the back of your left wrist. Plant your left foot back down. Then press through the left foot, see if you can lift the right toes up. Right foot comes to hover. Tap the back of your right wrist with your right foot and come back down. Inhale again, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Release your head. Then slowly stack your spine. Reach your arms up. Come all the way up to standing arms overhead, Hastasana. Exhale, bring your hands together to heart center. Moving into Surya Namaskar A, also a cycle, a repetition, a rinse and repeat, right? The series of movements that also acts a lot like a detox or a restart. Did you hear something funny the other day? It's like, how do you detox? Well, you're alive and you have a liver. But if you do yoga, also a detoxing move is just moving through a cycle of movement that you know. So Surya Namaskar A, inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, fold. Think about your liver if you want to. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. We're going to do this in the modified way. Inhale. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin down. Inhale, pull through, cobra pose. Press the tops of your feet down. Then tuck your toes, knees stay grounded. Exhale, press back, lift up, down dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees, step, or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, pull up halfway. Exhale, fold, drape your head down. Inhale, straighten your spine, reach your arms up, extend, press down through your feet, lift through your fingers. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Inhale, press up. Exhale, fold. Hands come down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Step back, plank. Inhale, strong plank, rock forward. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin down. Inhale, pull forward and through. Pull your heels together. Bhujangasana, cobra. Exhale, keep your knees grounded, tuck your toes, press hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, breath in. Exhale out, grip your fingers down, release in the back body. And inhale, gaze forward. Exhale all of the air out. On empty, transition to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. We're going to move a little bit quicker. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thumbs to sternum. Inhale, stretch through your arms and fold as you exhale. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands, step, step, or hop back, plank pose. Inhale, forward, knees down. Exhale, chest, chin down. Slither forward, inhale, Bhujangasana. You can lift up into upward facing dog from here. The knees down, tuck toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, all of the air out, bend your knees, hop, hop, step forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, release. Inhale, overhead, arms up. Exhale, draw down through your heart center. Inhale, press, reach up, explode. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant hands, step, step or jump back, plank. Inhale, forward. Exhale, knees down, chest, chin down. Inhale, slither forward, Bhujangasana or upward facing. Exhale, knees down, tuck toes, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale out, gaze forward, transition front of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant hands, step or hop back. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, knees down, chest, chin down. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, back, down dog. Inhale, look to your thumbs. Exhale, all the air out. Transition, front of the mat. Inhale, pull up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pull up halfway. Exhale, plant hands, step or hop back. Inhale, strong. Exhale, knees down, chest, chin down. Inhale, pull forward, Bhujangasana. Exhale, over the knees, downward facing dog, hold. Breathe in. Exhale. Release your neck, inhale. Exhale, let your heels drop. Keep strong fingertips. Inhale. And exhale. Let the cycle of movement wash over you. Feel the energy that you created rinse through your body. Another cycle of breath. Inhale, slowly lift the left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot by your left thumb. Come forward into a lunge. And then bring both hands to the inside of the left foot. You're going to ground the back heel down, kind of like a warrior one. And then begin to walk your hands to the right side of the mat. Walk them off the mat. Keep your hips pressing back. And see if you can reach your fingertips far away, tenting them so the palms are up. Let your head drop down. Pull your torso long, but keep your legs strong and active, not letting your hips pull forward. Slowly walk your hands back in. so that they're onto the right side of the mat. Keep the back foot grounded. Pull your left arm up towards the ceiling, opening up your chest. You can keep that arm extended, or if you'd like to, take a half bind. There is some screaming going on up front, but I think it's happy, giggly screams. You have the half bind, release, and then plant both hands down. Bring them to the front of the mat, fingertips forward, and then slowly step back into your downward facing dog. Press your palms down, heels down, drape your head down. Take an inhale. Exhale. Gentle bend in your knees. Deep breath in and out. One more time, breathe in and out. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, come forward. Plant your right foot down. And a nice long straight lunge. And then anchor the back heel down. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Walk your fingers off the front left side of your mat and walk them forward. As you start to stretch your fingers long and your torso starts to lengthen, pull your hips back away from your fingertips. Drop your head down. So your gaze is between your heels, looking underneath your hips. Keep your fingertips anchored. Pull your hips back. So it's like a tug of war between your fingers and your hips. And your torso just starts to lengthen out. Breathe in and out. Inhale and exhale. Start to walk your hands back in. And pivot your lunge back forward. Inhale. Hands to the inside. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Come into Malasana at the front of the mat. So heels in, toes out, space between the heels this time, hands together at a heart center. Again, we're going to move into Bakasana, crow pose. This time with our feet apart, and we will really work to pull them together. Feel the activation in your navel drawing up to your spine. So from here, we already have this connection, right? So before we had the feet connection before, now we have the elbows as high up on our arms as they can go. So I want you to take that and transition into crow pose. So a little bit different. Hands come forward. Plant your hands down a little bit wider. Lift your heels up. So now as you rock forward, you got that connection. Pull in and then pull your toes in. Lift heels up. So from the side, this approach looks like this. Forward. And then as you come forward, glide your toes across the mat and then lift your heels up. If you're an old pro at crow, then work on straightening your arms, coming into crane pose. A little bit less for the knees to grab onto. And then lower back down. Bring your knees down together. Big toes together, heels together. Sit back onto your heels. Whew. Hands down onto your thighs, stretching the bottoms of your feet. Gaze forward, reach your arms forward. Palms towards each other, I think, is going to help. Now, we kind of practiced this a little bit after I came back from that yoga retreat. We're going to pull back and pull our knees up. See if you can find that balance. Now, if you didn't quite get there, you can practice it several times. You got to kind of pull back and then put on the brakes. Try that one more time. Quick movement and then brakes. Lift your heels up. Lift your arms up. Keep your gaze on something in front of you that's not moving. Heels high, thighs parallel with the ground. Now from here, try pressing through, coming into drinking bird. So you're lifting up, arms back behind you, tip forward. Whew, that was a lot of leg work. If you needed the feet down and then lift up, that's totally fine. You're gonna lower your heels down, swing your arms back forward, Utkatasana chair pose. All right, make sure the weight is in your heels now. We're very much so off of our heels, right? We really practice that. Now, feel the beauty of really putting that weight back into those heels, right? It's like, you didn't give me heels. Now I got them. Feels good. All right, lift your gaze so that it's about 3 feet in front of you. Sit down and back. Shift the weight into your right foot. Lift your left knee up. Find a figure 4 position, foot flexed. Bring hands down to heart center. Sit down and back. Feel the opening on the outside of your left hip. Foot is flexed. And then you're really using your, just above your knee and the outside, kind of brace and open. Put your arms up, plant the left foot back down, Utkatasana chair pose. I like to have my feet about hip width distance apart. Press into the left foot, the right leg up, flexed foot, place it in figure 4, and hands down to heart center. Even though your right leg is lifted, you want to do your best to keep your hips square in the same plane so that the hip point on the lifted leg is not higher, but instead they're right even with the floor. Inhale, arms up, slip that foot down. Lift heels up. You need to squeeze your ankles towards each other. Drop arms back behind you, drinking bird, palms down. Inhale, arms up, heels stay lifted. Slowly lower down. Okay. Either stay here with heels lifted or place your knees down. I'm going to demonstrate our peak apex pose tonight, Ekapada Galavasana, our third pigeon, also known as flying pigeon. So it's kind of a little bit like crow, and it's a lot of hips. So I'm going to demonstrate it all the way through without props, and then I'm going to demonstrate it with this new block variation that I learned today, that I was like, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate it from a side perspective. I'm going to transition back into our Utkatasana chair pose. We'll lift up the right. Actually, I'll do the other side so you can see my foot. And then we'll sit down into our figure 4. Hands will come down into heart center. And then we're gonna start to fold over, bringing our triceps onto our shin and then hands down. As you plant your hands down onto the floor about shoulder width distance, you're gonna lift that back heel up. Start to transition the weight forward so you have your shin acting like a platform across your tricep. Really you stretch your chin forward, lift your heel up, and then eventually extend that leg. Whew, slippery, sweaty foot. Okay. So that is Ekapala Galavasana. That foot wrapping around your tricep is really gonna give you the friction to hold that posture. If you're in a hot, sweaty summer, like we are here in this back room, that might be hard to get. All right, now I'm going to demonstrate the other side, but I'm going to show you how you can start to use some blocks or, stacked books to, not have to go quite so far into it, to still feel that really nice stretch in your hips, and then also start to feel that weight starting to shift forward, where it's not so scary to get your hands all the way down on the ground. Okay. Utkatasana chair pose. Lift one leg up, coming into figure 4. Fold forward, and then you're going to place your hands on the blocks. This is going to make the ground come up to you. You're going to wrap your toes still around your triceps. Set your shins across the back of your arms and come forward. Now, from here, you can move the weight forward and you're not so compressed. So you might just set forward and just rock, even onto tippy toes. Come back down. It is going to feel a little bit scarier up here if you do lift up into the arm balance because you're farther away from the ground. So, it's farther for your face to fall. But it's a really great way to just feel, the compression that can happen at your hips. So a little bit more opening on the side hip and just rocking the weight into your hands without having to get them all the way down on the ground. Okay, so yogi's choice, and you can just have the blocks there, and if you decide you don't like them, you can always shift them off to the side. The bottom of your heels are very, very stretched. All right, so let's do this together. Transitioning back up. So if you had knees down, arms will come forward and shift up. And working to keep your heels lifted, start to slowly stretch up, arms up, and then drinking bird, arms behind you, knees bent, chest forward. Then lower your heels down slowly. Inhale, come up, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit down and back into those heels. Slowly lift the right knee up. Flex the right foot, place it in figure 4, and bring your hands down to heart center. Start to hinge forward. Feel that stretching on the outside of your thigh, outside of the hip. Bring your elbows down onto your shin. Right here, pull your chest forward. So you want a long, straight spine. That is one of the downfalls in crow pose and a lot of arm balances, is that people curl in, become this ball. And once you get your hands down onto the ground, what you want to do is be able to extend the weight out so that you can make slight shifts with your head, with your foot, and you can have more leverage to balance. So you want to extend out. All right, now decide here if you would like to use the blocks. If so, bring them in, plant your palms onto those blocks. If you have wrist issues, try gripping around the blocks and coming forward. If you're not using the blocks, then you're gonna have to bend your standing leg a lot more to get flat palms down. Curl your toes around your left tricep. Extend your spine. Rock forward, heel up, and then begin to straighten that leg. Oh my gosh, so sweaty. So the straightened leg is kind of just like the coup d'etat on this pose. But you can just practice staying heel lifted. When you're done, slowly work your way back up to figure 4. Lift up, let the right leg slide down. Utkatasana chair pose. Heels lift up. Drop your arms back behind you. Drinking bird. And lift arms up. Slowly lower heels down. Right leg's planted. Lift your left leg up. Bring it across. Figure 4. Draw both arms down. Reach forward. I'm gonna grab a blanket or a towel. See if I can get this by using the prop of a sticky towel. All right. Start to fold forward. Bring your elbows in front of your shin and then pull your chest long. Then hands either come down to the mat or to your blocks. Practice transitioning forward, moving your gaze off the front edge of your mat. So really far forward. Your hands are down onto the mat. Curl your toes very much so. Grip around your tricep. There we go. See, sometimes a prop is just a towel. Okay. Whew. And as you come back out, slowly building your mountain back up from figure 4. Release your left leg down. Utkatasana, lift heels up. Drinking bird. Slowly working your way back out. Reach your arms up, keep your heels lifted. Imagine there was a wall behind you and slowly lower down that wall. Inhale. Exhale, lower your knees down. And then rock forward, untuck your toes. Come to sit back on your heels. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, take a gentle twist to the right. So left hand comes to right thigh. Right hand can either come behind you or it can reach around, finding the waistband. Hands, just a gentle twist. Release your right arm down. Bring both hands back onto your thighs. Inhale. And then exhale. Find a gentle twist to the left. Placing your left hand onto your right hand onto your left thigh, reaching back with your left, either finding your toes or reaching around for the waistband. Gentle pull. Slowly release. Place your hands forward, lift up, tuck your toes, lift knees up, and gently lower yourself down onto the ground. Roll back. Gracefully pull your knees into your chest. Lift feet up. Finding happy baby. Again, coming full circle in our postures, in our practice. Onto our back, gently pulling your feet down, knees to the outside of your ribs, anchoring your shoulders and your pelvis. Press slightly into your hands with your feet. And then slowly let your heels drop down. Bring the inside of your heels and the inside of your big toe mounds together. And then release your hands. Slowly let your legs drop. Coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, or supine lying on our back, bound ankle pose. This will be our resting posture tonight. Hands can either stay on your pelvis or you can let them drop out to the side. Reflecting back on the last 60 minutes, this time on your mat. Is a spot that you come back to each week, a cycle. Noticing where there is progress. Sometimes the progress is small. Maybe the toes become a little bit lighter, or posture starts to feel a little bit easier to slide into. Sometimes the progress is great and you feel that exhilaration of flight when your toes can come off the ground and you're balancing on your arms, even if just for a split second. But it is just that, a practice, a ritual, something that is repeated, a cycle over and over again. Gently bring your hands to the outside of your knees and slowly close them. Draw your knees into your chest. Hold them in around your spine and gently rock yourself up to come upright. Let your legs drop down to the side, find a comfortable seat, or you can come back to lightning bolt pose, rolling over your feet onto your knees, sitting back. Draw your hands together to heart center. Be curious. Follow your bliss. Comes the third eye. Namaste.